Most men go through life never truly understanding what women deeply crave. It's not just attention, not just attraction, it's something deeper, something unspoken. But what if you could learn it without chasing, begging, or pretending? Opening question. What if everything you've been told about love is wrong? That it's not about looking perfect, saying the right lines, or waiting for fate to deliver the one? What if love doesn't come to those who wait, but to those who prepare? The shift. The truth is, the relationship you're dreaming of won't show up by chance. It's built through character, through growth, through mastering one rare but essential art. An art so powerful, yet most men never even try to study it. Then they wonder, why do good men keep getting overlooked, ignored, or worse, tolerated? The hard truth. Maybe it's not bad luck. Maybe it's not that the right woman hasn't come. Maybe it's because we haven't become the kind of man a woman's soul can recognize and trust. Relatable moment. Picture this. A man in his 30s or 40s, watching others marry. Feeling that quiet ache. Why not me? He prays, he hopes, he waits. Until the silence gets loud, until doubt starts whispering, maybe love just isn't for me. But deep down, he knows the real battle isn't out there. It's in here. Turning point. He thought waiting was noble. But real waiting? It's not passive, it's preparation in motion. It's the brutal, beautiful work of becoming. Confronting your chaos, refining your mind, rebuilding your soul. Challenge to the viewer. And this, right here, is where most men fall. In the silence between who they are and who they could be. But it's also where unforgettable men are forged. Through discipline, through purpose, through choosing growth over comfort. Core message. Because love isn't waiting to save you. Love is watching to see if you'll rise. Will you lead yourself before trying to lead her? The rare art. What women crave most isn't seduction. It's not perfect lines or flashy confidence. It's emotional mastery, spiritual leadership. And here's the truth. Mastering this art isn't optional. It's the cost of admission. Is it really just bad timing? Or are many of us asking for a kind of love we haven't yet grown strong enough to carry? I remember a man like that. Maybe you know someone like him. Maybe you are him. He was smart, kind, decent. From the outside, everything looked fine. But inside, he was tired. Tired of being overlooked. Tired of watching love pass him by again and again. He tried to fill the void with distractions, scrolling, dating apps, temporary connections. He kept telling himself, I'm ready. But his life whispered the truth. He wasn't. The core issue. He wanted loyalty, depth, devotion. But he hadn't built the structure to hold any of it. No emotional spine, no vision beyond the moment. And every woman he met could feel it. Not always consciously, but energetically. A quiet disappointment. Because here's the truth. Women don't want to build a home in a man who hasn't even cleaned his own soul. The harsh truth. Desperation doesn't grow love. It kills it. Desperation isn't romantic. It's repellent. When a man seeks love from a place of emptiness, he doesn't invite trust. He triggers fear, pity, distance. Real attraction isn't loud. It doesn't chase. It walks with quiet gravity. It radiates discipline and self-respect. Shift in perspective. A woman doesn't give her heart to the man who pleads for it. She gives it to the man who doesn't need to ask because he's already full. Marriage isn't a reward for being nice. It's not a trophy for surviving loneliness. It's a covenant, a test of your emotional maturity and spiritual readiness. You don't stumble into a great relationship. You build yourself into the kind of man who can hold it when it arrives. Challenge to the viewer. So stop asking, when will love find me? Start asking, will I be ready when it does? Because love isn't just about what you feel, it's about who you are when it finds you. Stop chasing people to fix wounds you refuse to face. Stop blaming timing, luck, or other people's blindness. Start building, start refining, start becoming. The inescapable truth. Because you don't attract what you wish for, you attract what you are. If you don't like what's coming into your life, change what's growing inside of you. No woman dreams of a man who waits. She dreams of a man who's rising. Reframe love. Most men don't fail in love because they're unworthy. They fail because they're chasing something they haven't yet grown strong enough to carry. Love isn't luck. It's not magic. It's a responsibility, a fire, a weight, and only the prepared can hold it without getting burned. So let me ask you, if love showed up today, deep love, covenant love, the kind that demands everything from you, could you carry it? Would your habits, your discipline, your emotional maturity be ready? Or would you sabotage it in silence, like so many before you? I once spoke to a man who had prayed for years for a wife. Every Sunday, he stood at the altar asking God to send her. But outside the church, he lived passively. No focus. Quiet bitterness. He feared change more than he feared loneliness, the tragedy of unreadiness. Then, one day, a good woman came along. She had depth, patience, but he crushed the relationship under the weight of his own insecurity. He didn't mean to. He just wasn't ready, because love cannot survive in a man who hasn't made space for it to breathe. Hard truth about desperation. Here's what most men won't admit. Desperation is not romantic. It's a red flag. A man who begs for love is announcing he hasn't yet learned to stand on his own. And when you can't stand alone, you lean too heavily on the person you say you love. Eventually, they break under that pressure. What real attraction is? Real attraction isn't chasing. It's not performance or manipulation. It's magnetism, quiet confidence. It's what happens when a man is already full on the inside. Not because he needs love to feel whole, but because he's already become someone who radiates wholeness. The shift in perspective. That shift begins here. Stop treating marriage like a cosmic lottery. It's not some prize you win. It's not a battlefield you survive. It's not luck. It's readiness, discipline, personal responsibility. God doesn't hand out blessings to men who haven't prepared their hands to hold them. The real work. So let me say this clearly. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you. Stop praying for a love you're not yet strong enough to sustain. Stop chasing approval to numb the ache you won't face. Start growing. Start building. Stretch into the man love can breathe inside of. The meek drop truth. Here's the truth you can't unhear. Love doesn't ask, have you waited long enough? It asks, have you become someone worth walking beside? It's not about finding the right person. It's about becoming the right person, so that when love arrives, you don't sabotage it with insecurity or fumble it with passivity or kill it with fear. Timing versus preparation. We live in a world obsessed with timing, but painfully unaware of preparation. Everyone wants the blessing. Few want to become the kind of man who can carry it. Relationships fall apart, not from lack of love, but from confusing patience with passivity. The wake-up call. Divine timing isn't a green light to sit still. It's a call to movement, to transformation, to honest, hard preparation. So let me ask you something. If love showed up right now, would you recognize it? Would you know how to hold it? Reflection and the parable. Would your soul be steady enough to stay present? Or would your unhealed wounds make you blind to what you say you desire? Like the story in Matthew 25, the foolish bridesmaids had lamps, but no oil. They looked prepared, but they weren't. And when the moment came, they missed what was meant for them. It happens every day. I once knew a woman, beautiful, deeply spiritual. She wrote her prayers in journals, made lists, and believed God would send her a husband. And maybe he did. One day, a good man appeared. He was patient, purposeful, devoted. But he didn't look like the man from her fantasy. He wasn't packaged the way she expected. So she missed him. She dismissed him and kept waiting. Not because God was late, but because her vision wasn't clear. Her wounds weren't healed. She had done the spiritual rituals, but skipped the emotional restoration. And here's the part most people don't want to admit. Desperation clouds judgment. But preparation clarifies it. Until you've done the internal work, you will chase illusions, or worse, reject the very blessing you once begged for. Stop asking, when will love come? And start asking, will I be ready when it does? Marriage is not a medal for survival. It's not a trophy for enduring loneliness. Marriage is a sacred responsibility. It demands not just desire, but preparation. Not just love, but strength, wisdom, stability, resilience. You don't become worthy of love by waiting. You become worthy by becoming whole. So here's your wake-up call. Patience isn't passive. It doesn't mean waiting in silence. It means digging deep. Healing wounds you'd rather ignore. Building a life someone can feel safe inside. Because when the right person comes, you don't beg them to fix you. You stand beside them as an equal, whole, ready. The blessing you want, it's already scheduled. But whether you get to hold it or miss it entirely depends on who you become in the meantime. Most people think they're searching for love, but they're not. They're searching for validation. They want to be chosen because they don't know how to choose themselves. And that's why their love stories collapse, not from cruelty, but because they built it on need, not strength. So ask yourself something raw. If we removed your loneliness, if fear disappeared, if the world never pressured you to find someone, would you still want love? Or would you realize that all along you were chasing distraction, not connection? I once knew a man, brilliant, kind, but hollow. He thought the right woman would fill the void. So he chased love like a starving man chases crumbs. He tolerated disrespect. He lowered his standards. He tried to earn love through effort. Instead of becoming the kind of man love is drawn to, every time it ended in heartbreak. Not because women were cruel, but because his energy screamed, "I need you to fix me." And that's not love. That's emotional dependency in disguise. Desperation repels healthy love. It smells like fear. It signals you're trying to take, not give. And no one wants to be consumed by unhealed wounds. Real attraction doesn't perform. It doesn't beg to be seen. It walks in quietly, fully grounded, fully whole. And that presence changes everything. Because when you know your worth, love doesn't feel like rescue. It feels like alignment, something you don't chase, something you choose. You don't attract what you fantasize about. You attract what you are. And if you don't like what keeps showing up, stop blaming timing. Start confronting your reflection. Scene: man standing firm, facing mirror, smiling softly at his growth. Love doesn't heal what only discipline, respect, and truth can fix. You want connection to fix your pain, but it won't. Scene: a woman praying, journaling, but still wounded. I knew another woman, spiritual, intelligent. She wanted love, deeply, but she hadn't become the woman she needed to be. So when a good man came, she didn't recognize him. Visuals, side-by-side storylines of man and woman, waiting, healing, crossing paths. Not because the universe is cruel, but because her heart wasn't clear. Her vision still clouded by fantasy and fear. Here's the truth: real love begins where need ends. Not when you're grasping, but when you're whole. Final scene: man writing in journal, I choose to become the man love is waiting for. Stop asking, where is my person? Start asking, am I becoming the kind of man who deserves the love I say I want? Because marriage isn't a prize for waiting. It's a responsibility earned through growth, character, and sacrifice. Become the kind of man love can recognize, grounded in identity, rooted in values, stable, whole, so that when love arrives, it finds a builder, a protector, a man ready to rise. If this message sparked something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to Stoic Spirit and drop this in the comments. I choose to become the man love is waiting for.